Good to think about. Let's sit cross-legged if that's comfortable for you. Lengthen through the spine. So I just feel like I spewed lots of information at you. So we're going to take some time to let it settle in. You can remember what you need to remember. Lengthen through the crown of the head. And then just start to breathe, maybe closing your eyes. Notice where your breath is. Is it high in your chest? Is it low down in your belly? Is it somewhere in between? And then start to lengthen the breath so that you have a deep inhale and a longer exhale. And then just take whatever it is that you want to remember from everything I said and kind of store it, either in your brain or your heart, wherever it belongs. And then on your next inhale, start to just bring your body forward, letting the chest come forward and the shoulders be wide, maybe chin lift a little bit. And then on the next exhale, curl into the back. So we're creating kind of a circle with our body, but it's going to start small. Inhale to come forward. Exhale to go back. You can place the hands on the front of the knees to help give yourself a little bit of traction. Exhale, back half of the circle. Inhale, front half of the circle. Exhale, brings the belly in, shoulders can round forward. Inhale, brings the belly and the chest forward, shoulders go down and back. And then as you keep moving, make the circle bigger and bigger. Warming up the hips, warming up the spine, warming up the shoulders and back. And on the front half, you can even lift the chin, and on the back half, you can tuck the chin so that you're warming up the neck. And then when you're ready, switch directions. Just try to make sure again that you link the breath. So front half is the inhale, back half is the exhale. Couple more circles, and then start to make your circles a little bit smaller. So like 5 more circles, but each one a little bit smaller than the last. And really feel your sits bones as you rock forward and back and side to side. And as you make the circles smaller and smaller, try to get to the center of your sits bones, and eventually your body will pause right in the middle so that you feel right in the middle of your sits bones And again, lengthening through the spine. Inhale, sweep the arms, palms up to the sky, lift the chin. Exhale, turn the palms away from each other. And as the arms come down, let the chin bow down to the chest. Inhale, sweep the arms up, chin lifts. Exhale, turn the palms away, and chin comes down as arms come down. Try to keep the shoulders down the whole time, pressing away from the ears. Keep moving with your breath. Two more rounds. And then the next time you come up, then start to twist to the right on your exhale. And when you start to inhale, pause. Just notice your body in the twist. And then as you exhale, if there's more space to twist, you can take that. If there's not, maybe you can turn your head. If not, just be. Deep breaths. Go gentle on the twist if your stomach is full. We don't want to cause like heartburn or anything like that. Deep breaths. On the next exhale, just bring the head forward. Keep the rest of the body twisted. And then on your next exhale, let it all come out and just uncoordinated movement, shaking out the arms, shaking out the top of the body. You can even move your legs if your legs are tired from sitting because you sat the whole time that I was talking. And then whether or not you shook out the legs, let's cross the legs the other way. So switch which leg is in front. Let's inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, twist to the left. And then again on the inhale, pause. And then on the exhale, if there's more space, move into that space. If there's not, then just enjoy where you are. On your next exhale, bring the head forward. Pause there for the inhale. And then exhale, bring the rest of the body forward. Shake it out. Keep your legs crossed the way they are. You can shake out the legs if you want to, but then put that non-dominant crossing back. And then when you're ready, inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, come forward. Whatever amount your body is going to let you. The hands can be right in front of you and elbows can bend if you want that for extra support. Some deep breaths into the hip, or low back, or mid back, or upper back, wherever you feel the stretch. Make sure that your knees don't feel pain. If they do, come out of it a little bit. Maybe uncross that leg. And then walk the hands back up, chin stays tucked until the very last moment. Roll on up. Cross the legs the other way. Shake them out if you need to. So this should be the regular way you cross your legs. When you're ready, inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Wherever your body takes you, let the head hang heavy. Try to keep the hips grounded on the mat. We're not trying to come up off the mat at all. And then on your next inhale, walk the hands towards the body, roll up through the spine, chin comes up last. Let's bring the legs around to come into table. When you get there, go ahead and wag the tail. So just getting a little bit of movement in the hips. If you have, oh good, okay. Jan, I don't know if you've ever thought about bringing something under your knees. I don't know if your knees ever hurt. Okay, good. So if you don't have extra padding under your knees, you might not want to do everything I'm gonna say. Because sometimes I think it bothers me to do this. So we're gonna start bringing the hips back and down, kind of like we're going through a child's pose, and then around. So we're circling the hips and then forward, just like you would almost go into a plank. So if that bothers your wrists, you can scoot your hands a little bit forward so you're not overstretching those wrists. So we're circling the hips, kind of like we circle the torso. So once again, this is like a good way to bring the synovial fluid back into the hips. So sitting for a long time presses all that synovial fluid out, and that can make the hip joint just not as lubricated, right? And then it's the bones or cartilage are rubbing on each other. Let's switch directions. And so the more we kind of circulate and press into one side and then release and go to the other side, it activates the part of our body that brings that synovial fluid in. And the more lubricated our joints are, the healthier they will be. So that's why you don't want to like immobilize joints unless you're really injured, because immobilization will cause a lot of damage. So hopefully this isn't bothering your guys' knees. My knees always like pop, snap, crackle when I do this. I'm like, oh, I think my knees are older than the rest of my body. And then when you're ready, if you want to, you can bring your knees wide to come down into a child's pose, or if you prefer puppy pose, just whatever allows you to rest a little bit. Take some deep breaths into the back body. And then when you're ready, come back up to table. If you took the knees wide, bring them back under the hips, wrists under the shoulders. So once again, because we're kind of between these two seasons, when we move into fall, like deeper fall and winter, they would suggest that our yoga practice kind of kicks up because we want to build that fire inside. But then also they suggest like yin yoga. So like a flow plus some yin is like the perfect balance, or flow plus restorative. I think we have a class like that. But we're gonna build a little bit of fire just by doing a little bit of core work. So hopefully gentle core work. So lots of options here. This is our normal spinal balance. So right leg extends behind, pulling the core in. And then option to use the left arm. You don't have to, you can leave it down. And then lots of options here. You can just stay right here and spinal balance, That works the core a lot, like I already feel it. Or you can flow. So on the exhale, you would bring things together, head, maybe elbow, knee, and then inhale, reach for length. So top of the head, hand, heel, reaching away from each other. You can also add the side one where you bring the knee out to the side on the exhale, and the arm would come to the side as well. So exhale, inhale, and you can alternate those. Center. So whatever your body needs today, if you're feeling like you don't need a lot of heat, because it's already a little bit hot today, feel free to do only a little bit, but do something. Two more. And then whatever is in the air, bring it back down to the mat. And then option for child's pose, puppy pose, or if you want a down dog to rest or stretch those hamstrings, feel free to take a down dog. Wherever your body ends up, try to take deep breaths to slow down the heart. So when our heart starts beating faster, our lungs also work faster. So we can use our lungs to slow down our heart, just like our heart speeds up our lungs. Long exhales, 2 more breaths, wherever you are. And then come back up. If you want to get a drink of water, now's a good time. And then go to the other side. Try to make it the same as what you did on the first side. So left leg back. If you added the arm, exhale to come in, inhale to go out, exhale maybe to come to the side, inhale to reach, exhale to come in, inhale to go out, and follow the breath. So as you do more, you might notice that your breath quickens, and so that means that your body needs to quicken a little bit, and that's okay. If you can keep your breath a little bit longer, you can take a little bit more time. And you probably feel the fire building, right? So this is part of the fire that I talked about, making sure you don't let die when it gets so cold outside. One more. And then let that leg and arm float down to the ground, and again, rest wherever you want. Child's pose, down dog. If it's hard on the wrists, roll out the wrists. That's a great idea. You can stretch the wrists in a bit. And wherever your body is, try to slow down the breath. And then come back up. And we're gonna actually take the hips over to one side and bring the legs around and come down onto our backs. Oh. Half the class we're gonna spend on our backs. Yay. So when you get down, go ahead and put the feet wherever you want, wide or narrow, but do a couple knee rocks. And then eventually pull the right knee into the chest. You can leave the left leg bent, or you can extend it. Just your choice on how you want to feel. And then we're just going to get a little bit more motion in this right hip. So we're going to circle the right knee, and you can use a hand or two to guide it. Just as big of circles as possible, like you're drawing on the ceiling with your knee. So if you have a hip injury, just be gentle. I know that you know that your range of motion and what your hips can do. And then take the knee the opposite way. Breathing deeply. And then let that leg come down to the mat. If the other leg is extended, bring it back in, and a couple of knee rocks. So maybe choosing a wider stance if you had narrow, or if you had narrow feet, maybe do wider this time. And if you come to a side and you're like, oh, I want to stretch that, go ahead and take a breath or two. No rush. And then when you're ready, bring the knees back, line the heels up to the sits bones, take the left knee into the chest, and then right leg can stay bent or extend down the mat. And then circle that left knee. So hands can be on the thigh. I can't reach my knee when my knee is like, you know, going away from the body with my arms because I can have slightly short arms compared to the length of my torso. So however you want to do it, you can also just use the strength of your hip and your upper leg and core. And then go the other way. Two more circles. And then bring that leg down to the mat. If the other leg was lengthened, bring it back. And then bring both knees into the chest. So knees can be wide or narrow, it doesn't really matter. But go ahead and just rock side to side. I like to keep my knees a little bit away from my chest, so not pulling them all the way in, because that gets into my low back. So I like mine like at the length of my arms, but once again, the arms are a little short for the length of my torso. So you find what works for you, and then maybe if you have your knees out a little bit from your body and you do have space to come in, go ahead and take them in and rock side to side. And just notice if that changes where the pressure comes up on your back. And sometimes that's a good change, sometimes it's a bad change. So just get to know this little knee rocking motion. And then pause. We're going to extend the legs up to the sky. You can keep the knees bent if you need, or you can straighten them and get that nice hamstring stretch. I know if you have your knees bent, that also stretches the hamstrings for some of us. And then let's reach our arms out to the side. And we're gonna rotate wrists and ankles one direction. So try to like rotate all four together. And then let's go the other way. Keep breathing deeply. And then relax the knees, relax the arms, pull knees into chest. Maybe rock a little bit one more time. And then bring the knees like close to 90 degrees. They don't have to be super perfectly 90 degrees. And we're gonna twist. So right arm out to a T, left hand comes across to opposite knee, and gently, gently, gently brings the knees over to this side, to the left side of the body. So if you know that you like a different twist better, feel free to move into that twist, or just get comfortable where you are. Take a deep breath. If the gaze wants to go over to the right, you can take that if it feels okay with the neck. And then deep breaths, long exhales like we talked about last week, activating the parasympathetic nervous system. The rest and digest system. And then if you want to, if your shoulder feels okay, you can start to slide your right arm, palm down towards your body. And then slide it up towards T, flip the palm so the palm is facing up, and then slide it up towards your ear. So it's pointing up like a head. And then down to T. Palm flips to down, and bring the arm in towards the body. And then palm out to T, flip it so the palm is facing up, and arm up to the head. If you like this, do it 2 more times. If you hated that, just return the arm to T and let it rest. You can link this to the breath, however it feels best for you. And then eventually, all arms will meet at T. Engage the core, bring the knees back to center. And then whatever little motion you want, whether you want to rock the knees, whether you want to plant the feet and knee rock, whether you want to rock the arms, any little motion between sides. And then left arm will move to T, legs come to about 90 degrees. Right hand helps guide the knees over to the right. Pause for a breath. Decide what you want to do with your head and your gaze. If it wants to go to the left, allow it. If it wants to stay where it is, that's okay too. And then start to take that motion with the arms. So once again, try it out on this side. And if your body doesn't like it, you can not do it, but do it 2 times just to try it out. So palm down, arm goes towards the body, At T, palm flips up and then goes towards the head. So it's like you're doing a snow angel with your arm, right? Palm flips down, come for the lower half. Palm flips up for the upper half. And then after 2, you can pause at T if you didn't like the motion. If you did like the motion, then keep going. This is a motion from what they call therapeutic yoga, which was made by a physical therapist and a yoga teacher. I think they're like a husband-wife team. And they put together a bunch of these motions that are yoga poses, but then they include something from physical therapy. And I like a lot of what I've learned. And then pause eventually at T. Take a breath. And then use the core strength, bring the knees back to center. This time plant the feet and open the knees. The feet, the soles of the feet will come together. The knees will be open. Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined cobbler's pose. Hands can go to the belly if you want. Just feeling, actually like tangibly, your breath moving into the belly. And then if you can, reach your legs, use the strength of your arms to help your legs come back together. Take your feet just slightly wider than hip width, so like maybe hip flesh width. And then let your knees come together. And I always find when my knees come together, my heels want to kind of kick out, so that my toes are kind of pointing towards each other and my heels are out towards the outer parts of my body, while my knees rest together. So whatever works for you to let the knees rest together. So this is just internal rotation versus the external rotation you were just doing. And then bring the knees back up, realign your heels to your sits bones. Hands come next to the hips, palms down. You can press gently into the mat with the hands to engage the triceps. Work something in your arms at the same time as working the rest of the body. And then when you're ready, inhale, press that low part of the back into the mat. And then gently and slowly lift the hips. And then once you are up in bridge, you can choose, do I want to stay here and take a few breaths, or do I want to flow? So if you're going to flow, I would suggest using the exhale to come down vertebrae by vertebrae. And then release the core so that the back comes to its natural position. And then inhale, press the low back on the mat. And lift the hips, peeling the spine off the mat. Or you can just hang out and bridge. Breathe a few deep breaths. Two more breaths wherever you are. If that's too long for you, if you've been holding this whole time, you can of course come down. And eventually, all of us will meet down on the mat. And then we're gonna keep the knees bent and the feet grounded. And we're gonna just take the right arm up towards the ceiling and then up towards our head. And then we're gonna switch arms. So both arms are gonna come center, but one is coming from the bottom and one is coming from the top. And then we're gonna switch. So it's kind of like swimming or something. And so maybe inhale to bring them up towards the ceiling, exhale as they come down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Move with your breath. So again, with the movement we did in the twist, and then this movement, again, we're just trying to bring a little bit of that synovial fluid into our shoulder. And then meet in the center, and then let's bring both arms overhead. And then extend both feet down the mat. And so your body is super long. You might notice that your back arches a little bit more away from the mat. That's totally fine. What I want you to do is I want you to extend your right arm and your right leg. So you're making the right side of your body as long as possible, and you might feel your left side kind of come together. That's okay. So like I feel the low part of my ribs and my hips kind of wanting to swoosh together on my left side as my right side elongates, and that is fine. And then come back to center. You can even lift the shoulders, wiggle the hips, and then left side gets as long as possible. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Take another breath. Reaching the left fingertips, reaching the left heel, or if your toes pointed, the toes. And then come back to center, maybe lift the shoulders, wiggle the hips, realign one more time on both sides, right side, arm gets long, leg gets long. The whole side of the body feels length and space. And come back, wiggle around, realign, and then left side. Reach, reach. How long can your body get? Take up all the space that you were given. And then relax, bring the arms back down, bend the knees, realign the hips, maybe rock a little bit side to side with the shoulders, with the hips. Bring the knees into the chest, rock side to side. And then 2 minutes of yogi playtime, maybe a happy baby, maybe a little bit more core work. Maybe you can do those leg drops that I think we did last week. If you want core work, you could stretch the hamstrings. You could do yoga bicycles. You could take a drink of water. You could do another cobbler's pose. You could do more bridges. You could stretch the arms across the chest. If your shoulders are tight. If you're doing something with sides, or you could do figure 4. We haven't done figure 4 today. So a few more breaths, and then if you're doing something with sides, go ahead and switch. Make sure you go on to the second side if you haven't yet. Couple more breaths. And then move into final relaxation. So coming down onto your back, if you need a last sip of whatever it is you're drinking, go ahead and take that. Relax your hips so that your toes drop out to the sides. Relax your shoulders. Try to release any tension in your neck, your shoulders, your hips. Maybe take one last deep breath. Maybe exhale out the mouth. And then let your breath come and go as it wishes. I'm going to read one cute quote about the doshas, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, or Kapha. If your body and mind were a handwritten story, then Vata is the ink, Pitta is the pen, and Kapha is the paper. Each one is vital. Begin to deepen your breath. Waking the body. Slowly and gently moving the body towards a seated position. And when you get there, bring hands to heart center. Bow the head. Recognizing the light within, knowing that that burns brightly, regardless of what is happening without. The light within me sees and honors the light within each of you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thanks so much